right, first topic. Tony Stewart responding to Jordan Bianchi's question about not hiring a paid driver for the 4-car said, "I'm not interested in some kid's father coming in and buying their way into the Cup Series. I have zero interest in that." TJ, spot on, spot off.
I'm spot on for, he has his ways, and that's what he likes. I mean, he's always been an old school racer, and that's how he worked his way up, going through the ranks, and he likes to see other people do the same thing. So, and obviously there are drivers with money, but we at this point we need those too. So I think he's got a pretty good mix of things. But Tony's a racer, and he's gonna like guys like Priest that go and win and all sorts of stuff. And then Josh is coming up the same way, winning in Legends cars. I get late models, Xfinity cars. So it's not. I think we all probably would have, knew Tony would say something like that.
Yeah, I mean, we go back to, trying to get back to talent over money. And it's hard because you look at a team like Stewart Haas, and it's clear that they are struggling right now. Like, they're not what Kevin's doing in their cars right now is phenomenal compared to what everybody else. Because I thought at one point he was the best car yesterday. He drove up to the top 5. He was like right when the sun went down.
This is like being Kevin all year. They don't have the raw straight one lap speed. They don't have that. But when the race starts, Kevin's super. Obviously, he knows what he's doing, and he's really good. He knows how to discipline himself and stay on the bottom, and that's all he did most of the time was stay right on the bottom.
Yeah,
and wait for the runs.
But like he is consistently a top 7, 5, 10 car.
Super smart.
He's always in there. He's always in the mix. But then you look back and you've got Eric's running 15th ish usually. Priest is around 20th. Briscoe has been, I don't know, like I can't believe how bad they've been the last month and a half, 2 months now.
Yeah.
Like they're getting passed by cars that they shouldn't even be on the same straightaway as.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's hard to say. Obviously, great for Josh. Great that Tony takes this approach. But what is the issue over there? Is the issue funding? Because you're getting ready to lose one of your big sponsors in Anheuser-Busch. They're going somewhere else. Now you're losing your. We always say you got to have an A guy on your team to know where your equipment's at. Well, now you're
He's definitely the.
Yeah, I mean, there's no question there.
There's no.
So now you're going into next year with, you're going to have Briscoe, Priest, Josh, and it sounds more likely than not that Eric's out. So then who's going to go in that? Is it another rookie? Is it a guy like McDowell?
That was going to be my question is, if he's taking talent over money, who is that next spot? Who is going to replace
Well,
Eric?
you hear, obviously if you're just going off talent, it seems likely to me that it's maybe Zane Smith or Michael McDowell. Like Michael McDowell's outperforming his equipment right now. He has probably for the last year and a half, 2 years.
They've been decent.
Yeah,
They've been decent here the last couple months.
But then if at the same time, at some point you need money. Somebody's got to have a sponsor. Like you can't. I mean, Gene is probably one of the few guys that can afford to just foot the whole bill for everybody. But I don't think he wants to do that. So now, you look at, you got a guy there that's got plenty of money in Riley Herbst. Is that an option? I think if Tony, we'll see where we go here. If Eric leaves and Tony, they stick Riley Herbst in there, you're kind of, going back on what you say right here. But I think he'll stick to it and go with a guy like a Zane or a McDowell if Eric leaves. But it'll be interesting to see. But yeah, it's just great for Josh, I think. And the thing is, like, you go out there and you get one of the best free agents available. Like this is, if Josh is easily in the top 2 or 3 guys that are not already in the Cup Series that are available to run. So, you went out and got him, just like we talked about Denny going out and getting his guy last year when he got Reddick. This was kind of the guy they circled, and it's a great fit for that team. It's a great fit for Rodney, his guys. Obviously, they both have a similar background coming up through the late model stocks, and I think that, and I think it's unfair to expect. We talk about Harvick being the A guy and outperforming everybody. It's not fair to expect Josh to step in there and run as good as Kevin. So,
No.
I'm not saying he can't do it, but, I don't see him jumping in and running top 5, top 10 every single week next
tough.
year. Yeah, I mean, it's hard. You'll see, he's got a taste of it already this year with the
Yeah.
running the 9 and the 48. So, but good for him and great for him, and hopefully this is the trend. This is how we get back to the best cup racing on the planet is taking talent over money, because then you make your product more attractive than if you just stick somebody in a car and they're out there tearing up his stuff every week but they brought a big paycheck with them. Anyway, let's kind of jump back into it. We just obviously here you're jumping in mid-show. We talked about some stuff here. A couple things pertaining to you. One is we talked about Tony Stewart making this big proclamation that he prefers to go get a talented guy over somebody that's going to bring a rich dad or something like that. Obviously, this pertains to you. He took your driver this year, Josh, who I think we all know is really talented. But just talk about the deal working with him and seeing it up close and personal now.
Yeah, I couldn't be actually more happy about the situation. People have been like, aren't you sad you're losing Josh? Well, of course, Josh is talented, but if you went in my office, Miss Kelly, she put dry erase paint on all our walls. And the first thing on our goals list for this year, my goal list, it was actually not winning a championship. It was get Josh to Cup. And I think what's important to that is, obviously, it's a personal thing for me and Josh, but it's also about what Josh represents. I'm a blue-collar kid that grew up on a farm and dirt racing in the Northeast. My friends still dirt race up there. We all know how this sport goes. I think Joey Logano just spoke about how broken the model is right now. So when you can get somebody there purely on their talent and somebody gives them a chance in a good ride, not, that's a win for the little guy. That's a win. That's the American dream, right? Hard work pays off. Josh did it the way people talk about him. I'm sure he pushed a broom at some point at Junior Motorsports, right? Drove pit cars, been a mechanic, late model program. None of that's glorious or glamorous. I'm sure everybody just assumes, I think, that Dale Jr. just carried him through, but the guy did it on hard work.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I think we all need reminders, especially nowadays in society, that hard work still pays off. And I've obviously known Josh and I pretty open, and he told me as soon as the talks really started to get serious, and then I knew when he signed and everything, and it's hard to not go run around and tell the world because you're so proud, you're happy, right? But no, this is what we wanted from the beginning. I remember when Dale brought Josh to me in 21. We knew Sam was signed up for a half year, and I've done these multi-driver deals a bunch. I don't really know for a while if we knew who was going to drive the beginning. And I know our team guys started talking about it, and then we found Tire Pros and some sponsorship, and that was COVID racing. There's no practice. So our MO was kind of like the first stage, Josh got used to the car. Second stage, we might get a stage point or two. And then the third stage, we were kind of just there competing a lot. If we weren't doing crazy things like jumping through the grass in Atlanta. But then we go out and we win Martinsville. Then we go run second at Darlington. We could have won that race. It was us in the 7. Then we go run second at Dover, and I think he just proved he deserved to be there. And in fact, we went to Nashville that year, and him and I talked before, and he's like, look, this is my last race for this year. Just call this race like you're going for broke. So I remember as soon as the window opened, I short pitted the field from like third. We were fast. I didn't know if we could get to the leaders. I'm like, yeah, big cojones, short pit the field. Litart's up in the booth like, yeah, that's what you should do. Caution comes out, gets stuck a lot down. We took the wave, had to take the wave around. I felt so bad. Took the wave around. We came back to finish fourth, but
hey, that's what you got to do.
But then it worked out. He got a lot more opportunity that year with Michael's injuries, and then the rest is history. But the announcement this year and what Tony's doing, where he wants racers, doesn't matter about dad's money. He said the same thing about Priest. I think it's great. I think it's what we need. I like the model. I like that old model where the team already has the sponsors and they go find the guy to drive the car and represent the brand, not the opposite of the driver brings the brand with him.
Yeah.